Just give it a second, you know.
Have you like unmuted the stream and everything?
Everything is unmuted.
Fantastic.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Film Talk on Phantom. My name is Owen.
My name is Ethan.
We have a bit of a shorter show for you today.
Because you have a life.
Because I accidentally double booked myself.
What is it? What is it you're doing and you're betraying Film Talk for?
I am going to play pool.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
really.
You're welcome. Let's put some music on in the background a second. Ethan, you tell me how you've been doing. What's the crack?
Ironically, pretty good. As you know, I finally found a place to function and live, and I've got my mattress arriving on Thursday.
Nice.
I did not think it'd be so difficult to buy a mattress. I did not realise how complicated that process was.
I would have assumed walk into a store, pick a mattress,
go, yeah.
Cool, yeah,
but no,
thanks.
there are so many different types, and I was like, I don't know what any of these words mean. I just gave up eventually and found one online and bought it and was
Nice.
like, that'll do.
Yeah.
I've lived on student mattresses for 4 years. Any mattress I buy new is going to be better.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm off to play pool this evening, with a few of the lads, a few of the boys.
Very nice.
Former head of radio Alex Wood arranged it all.
Shout out.
Shout out. He arranged it all last night. He just texted this group chat that we've got and just went, "Hey, anyone busy tomorrow?"
And you said no, even though we've been doing Film Talk.
Hey, we took a week off last week, so I got confused.
Oh my god.
But yes, because we took that week off last week, we have a lot to get through. So if you're listening on the radio, as much as you might love the songs that we're going to play, I kind of recommend popping over to the stream instead, because we're going to do a 2-hour show in 1 hour, and the only way we can do that is by
focusing on the stream,
filling the song sections with more content. Also, I am just going to point out, when I walked in, mics were muted over here, so no one could hear you. But if you hadn't, if this button wasn't pressed over here, everyone would have been able to hear you.
Lol.
Everything you were saying, everyone would have been able to hear.
I was talking about binder shopping earlier, so
Yeah.
it's not too bad.
We're also probably going to fix your camera at some point. Once
say that
again,
every week.
we say it every week.
And
I
we
genuinely think. Okay, hold on. Go over to the lights a second.
Like get up.
Get up.
Okay.
Get up and walk over to the light, the light box,
Yeah.
and just turn this one off over here.
Is that this one?
Just press them all. Oh, that was not the one. Press the one next to it. Turn the first one off again. Cool.
Lights just suck.
Yeah, it just sucks. We'll fix that. I'll work it out. Anyway, we're going to kick it off with our tune of the week, which would usually happen in the second hour of our show. But hey,
It leads into an interesting conversation you and I were vaguely having on the walk home from last week before.
were we?
Yeah.
We were talking to each other?
Yeah, we do have conversation occasionally.
What? Nah, I don't believe you. I'm now trying to find... There it is.
I just show the receipts from my phone when we vaguely speak.
Yeah, exactly. So, we are going to kick it off with our tune of the week. It is, of course, Eurovision winner, Nemo, from Switzerland, with their song, The Code.
Which is all about being non-binary, which is awesome.
I didn't watch Eurovision. I was at work.
I did watch Eurovision.
Yeah, I was at work, so all I was getting was like the occasional message sent to my coworker, going, "Oh yeah, Israel are winning, Switzerland are winning. Oh, Great Britain have given 12 points to Israel." Anyway, we're gonna head into this. Let's find a thing that we can put there. This is The Code by Nemo. There is not a play button over here anymore. Boo. Anyway, here it is. Now. Okay. It'd be useful if I turn those mics down.
Yeah. But it is a bop, and I do enjoy this. But I did see all of Eurovision. I played Eurovision bingo.
Nice.
It was like host changes outfit.
Yeah.
ABBA is mentioned, like, and we had this grid. Use of pyrotechnics, and we just drank.
Yeah.
It was great.
But yeah, thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I didn't watch it because I was at work. Whoop. Couldn't do anything about it.
I didn't expect to be watching it, but this is the third year in a row I have unintentionally ended up watching Eurovision.
Yeah.
So like, I got invited while I was at work during the day, being like, oh, come around and watch the Eurovision, we're going to play Eurovision bingo. And I was like, sure, why not?
Yeah.
Last year, I got stuck in my living room while my housemate was watching it, and the year prior, something similar happened. It's like, how have I managed to 3 years in a row watch Eurovision? Not something I'd even considered watching prior to uni.
I think we're just gonna do a Eurovision episode.
To be
Every
fair,
song Eurovision.
did you enjoy the film?
What the one with Will Ferrell?
Like the film that we watched for this week?
Oh, I thought you meant the Eurovision film.
No.
Oh,
I've not
okay.
seen it, so...
Yeah, no, neither. That was gonna be my response. Was I haven't seen the Eurovision film.
I didn't realise there even was a Eurovision
There is one.
film.
Netflix. It's got Will Ferrell in it. As you can assume, it's a comedy.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think it's Rachel McAdams.
Okay.
Is like that's the duo.
Are they performers? Is that like the joke? They are the performers.
Huh?
Are they the performers? Or...
Yeah, they're the singers.
Okay.
Who write the song, blah 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 blah. Yeah, cool. But yeah, plenty of controversy from this year's Eurovision.
I'm not going to go into it. I don't want to go into it on air because I got grumpy on the night and I don't want to.
I was explaining it to my manager at work.
I did not. No.
We weren't busy enough to like all of us be on the bar at the same time.
But it wasn't not busy enough.
But it wasn't
go home.
Yeah, it wasn't not busy enough that you could just go. Yeah, go home. Don't care. But yeah, I spent a good bit of the night just going, yeah, this is the whole thing with everything that's popped off. With like the Netherlands getting disqualified, Ireland not showing up to their dress rehearsal.
It all kind of got really complicated, but it's not something I wanna. I watched it. I enjoyed some bops. Leaving it there.
Yeah. Cool. I think once this song ends, we're gonna jump into news.
Okay.
If you can.
I will
get newsing.
I will locate some news, but after I have located and read news, I need to put my phone on charge.
Yeah.
I do have a wire unplugged because I was clever this
Smart.
time. Because I usually forget and then I have to plug it in under the desk somewhere. But I'm not walking home with less than 20% on my phone. Not occurring, funnily enough.
I'm trying to think what I was thinking of.
Are you wanting to pull up the film?
Oh, no. Hold on.
Also, because I saw the film this morning, instead of
anything else
earlier on in the week, which was going to be the plan until we were like, oh, we're cancelled, and I was like, okay, I will leave it for a bit. I saw another ad for the Transformers film you and I had looked at.
Yes.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
The ad even really... I think it really encompasses all the things that we wanted from that film. And I'm quite excited to see that come out, to be fair.
Yeah. I've got our next stream-specific segment up.
Okay.
I will pull it over to this screen when we're ready.
Yep, that's fine.
And we'll show everyone what we're watching and everything. But yeah... yeah, there is also another film I want to talk about in one of these stream exclusive segments. It's a film I went to see before the film we're going to talk about on the radio.
It's like, I kind of want to mention the TV show that I decided to sit through
fully.
all of.
Yeah, we'll do it. Like, we'll just have a little segment where we rant about these two things.
We should just continue to stream these. Just do little film talk things on YouTube. Because you and I finish soon, which is...
Yeah, it's scary.
We have to be adults. I'm terrified.
Yeah, no, it's good. I'm currently in the situation of...
You haven't decided what you're doing, have you?
No. I'm at the point now where I've got the plan. The plan is...
The plan.
The plan is if thing A doesn't happen, do thing B. Okay. You know? Oh. That's right, you are listening to Phantom Radio. My name is Owen, you're listening to Film Talk. I'm joined by Ethan.
You are indeed.
Oh, good,
I am in fact here.
How are we feeling about this elevator music that we've got going?
I don't hate it.
Because Sky has also... hold on. We'll pause it for a sec. Like, we'll turn it off. And we'll find Sky's thing. Because Sky has got this here.
A little lo-fi.
Lo-fi beats.
It just makes me think of the girl doing her revision.
Yeah.
The little YouTube lo-fi girl that's been going on forever.
I feel like this almost worked. Like, based on what I'm hearing, I think I could just do this with this all the way up.
That's kind of what it's designed for, so... Pardon me.
We'll put it there.
Would you like me to jump into some film news?
Yes, I would love you to jump into some film news.
Some film news.
I'm just going to readjust my seat and my mic.
While you're playing with everything.
Yeah, go for it.
They want more Inside Out sequels, because obviously we're getting the one coming out, is it this summer?
Yeah, so there's one coming out soon. I would assume this summer, given the amount of trailers that have come out.
But they'd like to do even more following more of Riley's life. And honestly, good. I think we need more TV shows that present kind of like thoughts and feelings in a way that is manageable for people.
Yeah.
Because I think it's really easy to comprehend and explain how you are feeling because of the way that film is explained. So I will also be really interested to see how they demonstrate and explain those different emotions as Riley gets older.
Yeah. I really like the first one. I think the second one is going to be good. I don't know how well I'd respond to more and more of them. Like, I think after 2, I might... or maybe 3. If, like, 3...
Give me 3 films.
3 films, if 3 is the same level as, like, Toy Story 3. You know, if it's that level of good film, I'd be happy with it.
I think if they're gonna, because this second film she's in high school.
Yeah.
I think if they're gonna do a third one, they need to essentially do what they did with Andy and jump Riley up to like university age.
Yeah.
So that then you've kind of got 3 kind of key age brackets for people who are, you know, growing up and stuff. Encapsulate those 3 kind of like key points.
Yeah.
And then delve into the emotions at those stages and then be like, now we're done.
Yeah.
You know? Because I think you kind of, how many Toy Story films are there?
4.
You lose me towards.
Yeah.
Towards
It's
the
4
end of
and a bunch of spin-offs. Like,
they've got little shows, haven't they?
Because there's
Disney
like
Plus.
there's like little shorts that are done on Disney Plus. I think there might have been a straight to DVD. There was the Lightyear film.
That's technically a prequel, isn't it?
And no,
Because it's about Buzz Lightyear, the person who Buzz Lightyear, the action figure, is then based on. So
it's the film that Buzz Lightyear is based on.
So that's a prequel to Toy Story.
But it's not a prequel because, like, technically it doesn't happen because it's a fake film within Toy Story. You know,
just to make it extra complicated and super meta.
But also, there are a load of things on the internet going, well, actively, this can't be the film that the original Buzz Lightyear toy is based on. Like, it can't be that. It's got to be the reboot of the TV series that Buzz Lightyear was based on. Because you see Buzz Lightyear, like, originally, and he's like a 2D, like, he's a 2D drawn, like,
animation
for kids, and then obviously we find out the twist. Spoiler alert for Toy Story.
You should have watched them by now.
Yeah, you definitely should have watched it.
Realistically.
I'm actually, cause we are streaming, yeah. it's good to see that I'm on my toes with this stuff. But basically, people have just pointed out the fact that in Toy Story 2 or something, we find out Buzz Lightyear's dad is the bad guy. So the same, Buzz Lightyear is knockoff Luke Skywalker.
That's very much the vibe.
That's the vibe. But in Lightyear, spoiler alert for Lightyear, you find out that the bad guy, is it Zorg? Is that his name?
I can't remember.
Yeah,
I think around that. Yeah,
we'll call him Zorg for the sake of this. Is just an older Buzz Lightyear. That's the twist, which just says to the whole audience
that's
that
really giving Star Wars in it.
Yeah. Basically these two things can't be the same thing.
Yeah.
It can't be Buzz Lightyear's dad is Zorg and Zorg is Buzz Lightyear.
No.
Those two things can't be the same. So it's made most people think, or a good chunk of the internet go, okay, it's not the original version of Buzz Lightyear. It is the modern reboot of the Buzz Lightyear films that came out in that universe, which is an absolutely mental, take. Well, not take. A series of dots to draw over to get to the conclusion, which is actually more. But it makes more sense than just
Disney
going.
Pixar
it's the
fans
same.
have been doing that with Disney Pixar things for a very long time. Twisters. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for that. It's a film about storm chasing.
I think I've seen. Yeah, I saw that trailer.
I don't know how I feel about this film because it's giving natural disaster film, but on such a small scale that I almost don't care that it's occurring. Does that make sense? Yes, tornadoes and things occur, but you actively choose to chase them. That is your choice.
Yeah.
Like a tsunami or an earthquake, you don't really have a choice.
Yeah.
But you actively choose to chase tornadoes, and I'm like, why? Why does this film exist?
Yeah.
Hopefully there's some funky twist in there, but I'm not sure how I feel. Another thing I don't know how I feel about, they're looking to develop new Lord of the Rings films.
No.
With Peter Jackson's involved.
Yeah.
For 2026, but
Are they then doing?
I don't know. Does
a different one with? They just shouldn't. You know.
Out of the 6 films, the Lord of the Rings were the better 3. So
yeah. So if you're going to touch any of them, make a single Hobbit film.
The Hobbit didn't need to be 3 films. 2 films at a push.
Yeah.
But it didn't need to be 3.
No. I know that there was talk of a Lord of the Rings TV show, maybe?
We've got one.
Not Rings of Power.
Okay.
A Lord of the Rings.
I think turning the Lord of the Rings into a TV show would make more sense.
Yeah.
Because there are lots of elements in the Lord of the Rings that people are like, oh, but we don't see this character, we don't see these interactions occur, and this character's super important. That I think if you did a TV show, you could really... I think we should have more Tolkien TV shows. Bless you. Just because there's so much world lore and stuff that doesn't get explored in, a couple hours of film.
Yeah.
That I think TV shows, ironically... because I usually don't feel this way, is the right way to go.
Yeah.
But I don't know how I'm feeling about new Lord of the Rings films.
Yeah.
Why? I might go see the first one, then see how I feel. But
but
I don't know who they're casting for this. Because it'll have to be recast.
Yeah.
Logistically.
Elijah Wood for Gandalf. Thank you very much. That's me done. Or for Bilbo.
I think, just whoever the previous actor is.
Yeah, whoever the previous Frodo was is now Bilbo. And those are the rules. Next news.
You want your next lot of news?
Next news. If there isn't any, don't worry about it.
Deadpool and Wolverine. Apparently, Sean Levy signed up after regretting saying no to the Wolverine, in terms of filming and stuff. So I think it's really interesting that more and more people are... Lots of people seem in very much debates about how they feel about this film in terms of bringing... Because it's so connected to the premise of Loki.
Yeah.
Marvel are directly now going, no, X-Men are here on this timeline now. We've screwed with theirs enough. This is where they are in terms of everything else.
Yeah.
And bringing Deadpool as somebody who is quite external. Bear in mind, in the ad, he turns around and says, the R rating isn't new for me, it is new to Disney.
Yeah.
Is a little... It makes sense, putting him in with the whole timeliney people because they.
Yeah.
But it's also really weird to me that this is how they're deciding to bring the X-Men through into Marvel more directly.
The bit I don't get of that is in the spoiler alert for every Marvel movie.
All of them.
All
ever.
of them.
Sorry.
Not all of them ever. Like since 2000. We'll go for that.
That's most of them.
If we spoil anything from before 2000, have at us. Like bully us. Go on to Instagram and
don't
just comment.
encourage people to bully us. People bully us both individually enough.
Shh, it's fine.
It's not.
But spoiler alert for everything 2000 onwards. The Marvels, they have an end bit where the X-Men show up, and it is Kelsey Grammer as Beast, and it's like, right, so you've got the guy from the X-Men playing the same guy he plays.
Yep.
In a different universe.
Sort of. Just
have it be that because they've also set it up in Doctor Strange that there's going to be an incursion, that there's going to be two separate universes colliding, and one of them is Doctor Strange's, the MCU, basically.
Because they've also done it with WandaVision with the idea that they've acknowledged that he as the Flash exists. She knows who he is. Because they comment that he is the Flash, and they acknowledge that he has the power, that he exists. Yeah, wrong universe,
but it's fine.
TV shows. That's where you lose me. They acknowledge that he is Quicksilver. They know who he is. They acknowledge that he exists within the universe. But they also make a joke that it's not the same brother. Guy. So it's like, okay, so you've acknowledged that the X-Men exist, and you clearly know who they are.
Well, it's not
so
even
what
that.
are you doing?
It's
Why
not
weren't
even
they
just
involved
that.
in Endgame? I have so many questions.
So they're not the same. So I think what that was they just sort of they fumbled that twist massively. Like if they'd just left it as like someone went to another universe and grabbed a Quicksilver, and then Wanda just went, yeah, this I recognize you as Quicksilver, and Quicksilver is my brother, therefore you are my brother. If they just left it as that, it'd be fine. But then they did the fake out twist of like, oh no, it's not actually Quicksilver. It's a guy from the MCU world who looks like Quicksilver from this different universe. And it makes zero sense at that point.
Especially when you see her later on and in oh my gosh, the Doctor Strange film, literally pulling at other places where she did get to have children.
Yeah.
So you know she's capable of it. She could have been like, yoink.
Yeah. What I don't get, okay, that whole Doctor Strange film, hate it. Doesn't make any sense. So you've got you've got Wanda who suddenly becomes a bad guy. She has all of WandaVision, and at the end of WandaVision, she goes, it's okay. I can let my family go.
Yeah, she copes.
She
adjusts,
she like
sort of.
accepts that she's gonna have to grieve, kind of thing. Which
and
I know is meant to be
the Doctor Strange thing.
And then they chuck the end credit scene for Doctor Strange in, and it's like, okay, guess she might try and find her kids somehow, or just build them again, kind of thing. Because if she can make them more permanent, she doesn't have to grieve. Brilliant, fine, perfect, leave it there. But then suddenly Doctor Strange 2 happens, and it's just like she's a bad guy because they needed a bad guy.
If you watch the films like the TV show WandaVision and then that Doctor Strange film as independent things, they're both great. Yeah. What annoys me is that because Marvel are so on top of not sharing scripts, so to stop leaks from happening, they don't even share it within their own writers. So realistically, WandaVision should have ended differently to lead better into the film, but it's because they're so and it means that I think that's why everything, because instead of going, oh, we'll do like 2 films a year and they'll do one for Iron Man and we'll do a Thor film because they are separate, because everything overlaps so much now, but also the fact that everything, and they're still like, oh no, we have to keep our scripts really locked down.
I think
nothing works, and now I think that's one of the reasons I'm finding Marvel so clunky. Is because it's like you need to acknowledge one of two things: you write too much for a year, or you need to start sharing scripts with other departments so the directors are aware.
Marvel need to stop making as much content.
They absolutely do.
The more content they make, the less attached everyone gets to the characters. because
I liked when we had like a couple of films a year.
I saw the stats breakdown a couple months ago of if you look at the first 3 phases, and how regularly used. So the hypothesis was basically the 3 main characters of the first 3 films are Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they were always established as like
because they're the 3 that get, well, ignoring the Hulk.
His Banner's history with them is more complicated anyway.
That film, just don't count it for a second. Those 3 are the 3 characters who get a standalone film before the Avengers. And they all get a standalone film after the Avengers. And they all get one after Avengers 2, maybe? No.
Civil...
Iron Man doesn't get one because...
He doesn't need it at that stage.
He has such a major role in Spider-Man. That's what it is.
And he gets he got several of his films prior to the others getting their first one, so it makes sense.
So I saw the stats breakdown of it being like, even in the most busy year of films for Marvel in that sort of like phases 1 through 3 segment, it would be at most 2 films before you'd see Iron Man, Captain America, or Thor somewhere. Whether that is a major role that they're in, like in Spider-Man, where Iron Man shows up, or a tiny role where they show up, like in Spider-Man for Captain America.
Yeah.
Like, you'd see them once every 3 movies at least.
I really like, and still am quite attached to, because as much as I don't want to, I have let go Iron Man.
Yeah.
Because he is dead. That is... But I think it's one of the reasons I am so attached to Paul Rudd's Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Because they've done him right. He got his standalone film.
Yeah.
They included him in little bits of Civil War. He gets another standalone film. They've done the bigger things. They've included him. And I'm like, continue to do this premise.
Yeah.
It works.
I think they need to reestablish who their big 3 are. Because, like, I'm surprised DC haven't done well at it. Because they've got an established big 3. Because it's literally Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Have them be Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, and you are set. DC would be winning.
I think the issue that I have I think lots of DC have had is that they get in actors to play Superman, and it would be like a 2-film deal, so they'll do a couple of Superman films. But what they need is to find an actor who they think, okay, who could and would be willing to play Superman for long term. Be like, we want to pull an Iron Man, we want you here for this amount of time, we want to properly build up this universe, but they need actors to stay. And it's like, they haven't done the same with Batman. How many Batmans have we had? Slightly too many.
Yeah.
Just find somebody who we could have for a longer period of time.
I agree.
I don't have any more news, by the way.
Yeah, we're just going to rant for it. We're going to finish this one quickly now. I'm just going to say something. I think Marvel need to re-establish a big 3. They need to go Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel. And then those are the big 3 for this next set of things before Secret Wars comes out. And every 2 or 3 films, one of them needs to show up and advance at least, like, some form of story, whether it's their story happening to advance in another person's project, or they are a major enough role in someone else's project that it like pushes their story forward, something like that. And I think that's all they need to do, because then if they do that, they then have to go, okay, who does it make sense for Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel to interact with? And then we can just cut all of the films that aren't those. Because if you look at Thor's films, he only interacts with his cast in his films.
Yeah.
He doesn't get
and then
outsiders.
We get some of the Guardians of the Galaxy and
then
newer stuff.
Oh yeah, and don't count 4.
But no, but even then, that's still in passing, because he spends most of that himself. It is just going, oh, I went with them, I'm now doing this, bye.
But like, which is another thing, that is because Marvel don't share their scripts. So Taika Waititi and James Gunn had separately written Thor 4 and Guardians 4 to not include Thor or the Guardians, because they weren't aware that that's how Endgame was finishing. But anyway, I think they just need to reestablish that, cut out all of the like nonsense films and stuff that doesn't need to be there. Ironheart, no one asked for it, no one wants it. Why are you still making it?
There are some films where I feel like it's really hard, especially some of these films like The Premise of the Ten Rings needs more than one film to comprehend, because you're very much in a similar way as Black Panther. You're actually bringing us a lot of information in one film.
I've changed my mind on who who Marvel's big three should be. It should be Spider-Man, Shang-Chi, and Captain Marvel. And because the way that the first one goes is you've got your technological hero in Iron Man.
Yeah.
And then you've got your down-to-earth hero in Captain America. And your cosmic hero
your
in
hero
Thor.
From elsewhere, yeah.
So you do that again. You go, your cosmic hero is Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Because
she's got all your space things.
She's the space stuff all covered. You then have, instead of a tech focus, you go for a magic thing,
and then you
have
Shang-Chi,
and then you have your Spider-Man is down to earth, and that's how they should have set it up.
And even if you combined with the tech elements, because they did want to address the advancements, because Spider-Man has so many suits. Like if you look at the comics, there are so many different types that do different things. If you want to include all your tech stuff, especially with the premise of him being around Happy so much, you could do that in the Spider-Man films as well. But
that's the thing, they've managed to fix that already by going, no one remembers who he is. So he doesn't have access to any of the stuff anymore. I wish they would address that. I also would like them to age up Spider-Man a bit. I love Tom Holland. I do think Tom Holland's doing well.
There is going to be such a break.
There's going to be such a break between this one and the next one that they'll have no choice but to age him up.
Because he has a job.
Yeah.
That is...
I reckon in the next one, he's going to have either the photography job that he's known for in the comics, or the sort of lab assistant job that he sometimes also has in the comics, but I mostly remember from the video.
I remember from him being
Otto Octavius's
get me more pictures of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And him being the photographer, and that was always my association, was that he was the photographer for the newspaper.
Bugle.
And I think it would be really easy based on obviously there's the announcement and then he gets everyone to forget. I think him being the photographer at the Daily Bugle would be a really great way of him keeping an eye on it not coming out again.
Yeah.
To be like, to make this not happen again, I'm going to work with someone who I know likes to talk about Spider-Man, so I can make sure it doesn't, you know what I mean? And then interject it that way. But it's just one of those things that I want them to sort it out. I want to be invested in Marvel films again, and I'm just not at the moment.
Yep. Anyway, we're going to jump off onto the stream for a bit. If you'd like to join us, you can. I need to sort out some music.
You do?
No.
No? Well, yes.
What are we feeling? I don't know. I've forgotten every Eurovision song that's ever come out.
We do have... Can you not just do a search for Eurovision?
Yeah,
not just...
I've got it up.
Okay.
We'll go with this one to begin with.
Very nice.
Yeah. Saw this guy live.
Have you actually?
There's your fun fact.
Nice.
Let's go into this. This is Sam Ryder with Spaceman. Goodbye, everyone. Okay, we're good.
Sick. I'm going to plug my phone in. So the stream have to put up with me moving around.
Yeah. Okay, I think I've worked out how to fix that. Well, if you just stream, we're going to just walk around for a bit there. Enjoy the emptiness of the camera angles.
It's so bright. Ooh. Righty-ho. Once Owen is finished playing with lighting, because I find that the lighting in here always looks garbage on me, and I think it's just the tones of my face, honestly.
Well, we'll see how that's worked. Yeah.
What was the film that you wanted to use for
our little
your
section now?
Yeah. What film did you go and see?
I went to see If.
Did you enjoy If?
Yeah, it was...
Because you seemed in a bit of a debate with If when we initially talked about it.
Yeah. So, I thought it had very good potential to be awful. If that makes sense to everyone, I thought it could have just flopped and been an awful film, like just a generic kids film, you know. But I went to see it before I saw The Fall Guy the other day, and honestly, I had to sit in the cinema toilets for like 5 minutes crying.
Did you have a cry at
I
If?
cried
I
so
feel like
much
this might
at this
go on
film.
my list of films to go see.
Honestly, do.
While it's still out.
I talked to my old co-host Callum, like after I came out of the cinema and stuff. He'd also gone to see it the same day. His plan was to do what I'd done and go see it and then go see Fall Guy. But he couldn't bring himself to go see Fall Guy because he was also broken. Like, we both started crying at different times, but I reckon if you just started the film over at the end of the film, and if you just put it back to the beginning, there we go.
If you just put it back to the beginning.
Yeah, if you just put the film back to the beginning at the end, I think I would have cried the whole way through.
It was interesting because I've seen the ads for it to see Ryan Reynolds in a slightly different role.
Well, you say that. I thought this was quite similar to some stuff he's already done.
Well, older style Ryan Reynolds stuff, because he now seems to do lots of this sarky adult R-rated type humour, but I get the impression this is like closer to what he used to do when he was slightly younger. If that makes sense.
There's a very specific film it was reminding me of the whole time, but I can't remember what it was, and I will search it up once I find another Eurovision song to put on. Is this a Eurovision song?
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, cool.
This is a Eurovision song. I never realised this was
For
a
the
Eurovision.
stream who don't know, I don't know how to pronounce the name, to be fair.
No, it's a song called Stripper.
By I was going to say a child, but... I imagine
a child.
A child, E.
Yeah.
But yes, apparently it's a Eurovision song. Not what I remember hearing, but you know. But no, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I did look at it and go, that's either going to be a green screen chaotic mess of a film, or it's going to be quite good. But it did take my interest.
Yeah. But you've been watching. Well, you've watched Baby Reindeer?
Yes.
Yeah.
I watched all 7 episodes of Baby Reindeer in one hit, and that is a I can't remember the comedian's name, which is not helpful. He plays himself in the show,
Yeah, so
recounting a awful situation about being horrifically stalked for I think it encompasses about 4 years, start to end, that he is stalked by this woman, and it encompasses the things that happen between just before she starts doing that and how he kind of gets it. Richard Gadd essentially plays himself, and talking about how his life kind of develops through this stalking situation, which honestly quite heavy of a show to...
Really?
Yeah.
Heavy?
Yeah. It was a lot for 7 a.m. in the morning. I was in tears by episode 4, because episode 4 is the one where he gives a lot of context and backstory, and honestly, that got me, and I was...
To be fair, so I got recommended this by, first, my manager at work.
Oh.
Yeah. We had, it was when it first came out. We were having one of the worst shifts that we ever had.
Yeah.
And I'd gone for my 30-minute break she was also on hers, so we were just talking kind of thing. She was like, oh yeah, I've been watching this thing, like this show called Baby Reindeer. You should like check it out. I was like, okay, what's it about? And she explained it all, and I was like, that's a really cool premise. And then second, it was recommended by my mum.
Okay.
And she basically just says, yeah, some of the acting from the main guy is just not believable. And then I had to correct her in, like, it was in the family group chat. I had to go, Mum, you are aware this is like autobiographical, like, TV series of his life. You are aware of this, right? And she was like, oh, right. This is just a funny thing. Then I got recommended it by over there, and then you.
I think it's because the only clip about it, the only context I'd come across online, surprisingly, was the scene about where he's explaining that she came into the bar every day and ordered the same drink and didn't drink it, and we just talk at him. And I'd seen that clip online a couple of times. I'm like, what is this from? Had a look at the comments. Was, I'm going to go watch that.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I keep seeing it everywhere. Watched all of that, and then watched the interview that the woman who thinks it's based on her, she interviewed with Piers Morgan, of all people. If you've watched Baby Reindeer and not seen that interview, go watch it, because you'll realise that the actress playing the stalker nailed it.
Yeah.
Like, watching her in like real life being an existing human being, actress nailed that role.
Yeah.
But it's quite a lot. And I was like, okay, it's going to talk about the stalking, but it's the episode, I think it's specifically episode 4, where he kind of gives some context about his life and how he let it all kind of get so bad.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was crying. The rest of it was fine. Like, objectively, I think there's a lot of information there, and they give the support numbers, and I think it's nice. It's not nice, it's awful, but it's nice to see like a male victim come forward and talk about something like that, especially because obviously she was an older woman. She would probably be passed off as harmless, if you walk past her on the street, sort of thing. So it was definitely interesting to see it talked about. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot for, between like I think 8 a.m. and I think about midday. I'd watched the entire thing and I was like crying. So that was my cry of the week, I suppose, in terms of media content.
Instead of me going to watch a kids film
and
just
crying over
bawling
it.
my eyes out at the end. Thing is, I don't reckon any of the kids in that like cinema will have been crying at all. No. They wouldn't have been sad. They would have been like, yay! Obviously, none of them were making any noise. Like, they were all, oh, we're back on air. Hello everybody and welcome back to Film Talk on Phantom. My name is Owen. We are currently in a conversation about
films and TV shows
we've cried over in the last week. And we're currently talking about If, the Ryan Reynolds, John Krasinski movie. I'm actually going to pull up the cast because I think one of them
I would love to see who animated for this film. Because I've not seen the film, for viewer discretion and that. From what I gathered from the ads, it seemed that it wasn't all just like, oh, we've CG'd all the monsters, because of obviously the imaginary friends kind of from all different spans.
They all show up in different ways.
So I get the impression there were animators and such involved. So
I'm actually gonna list you out some of the adult cast of this film.
Okay.
All of which have roles of varying importance.
Yeah.
But they're all in there. Are you ready? Are you prepared?
Never, but go on.
Cool. John Krasinski.
Yep.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
Steve Carell.
Okay.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Emily Blunt. Awkwafina. Blake Lively.
Okay.
Matt Damon. Vince Vaughn. Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
Louis Gossett Jr. Matthew Rhys. George Clooney. Bradley Cooper. Amy Schumer. Keegan-Michael Key. And Brad Pitt.
I feel like this was an expensive film.
Oh, and Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart, famous late night talk host in America, also appears.
This feels like it might have been quite an expensive film.
It feels that way, but I reckon most of these lot were just sort of like doing it on goodwill to John Krasinski and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, why not?
Like, they're just going, yeah, I like this script. Why not? Because a lot of them are like, okay, Ryan Reynolds, John Krasinski, Steve Carell, Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
They are your cast.
In it. They are in it properly. And then everyone else sort of just shows up and does a line here or there.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt plays a character called Keith. Brad Pitt is not on this document I've got here. This document being Google. Brad Pitt only appears in the credits where it says right at the bottom of the cast, and introducing Brad Pitt as Keith. And it's a running joke between Brad Pitt and Ryan Reynolds, where any invisible character in a Ryan Reynolds film will be played by Brad Pitt.
I remember
because there's Deadpool 2, where Brad Pitt shows up for like 3 frames.
Yeah, because he's like murdered.
He gets
just
electrocuted.
and
he appears
briefly
for those 3 seconds and then disappears again. He plays a character, an imaginary friend, who is invisible. So
he trips over him in the ad, and he's like, "Who comes up with what child imagines an invisible imaginary friend?"
And that is Brad Pitt.
I want to know if he was on set.
He won't have been.
I think it'd be funny if he had been.
He will have shown up for a few days, maybe, just to pop in and be like, "Hey Ryan, how you doing?"
I was here, and now you can't tell them I'm not in the film.
Yeah. But I laughed so much at that joke in the credits. And the best bit is at the end, you find out whose imaginary friend Keith is. Like,
whose imaginary friend?
Are you gonna go see it?
I probably will, but I won't be affected by spoilers. I'm not fussed.
Spoiler alert for everyone at home.
Because I don't remember anything, so I'm not gonna be fussed.
So just like turn down your phone for a minute. You know, mute it. Basically, the plot is Ryan Reynolds and Katie Fleming, who is the child, have to basically rehome a load of imaginary friends.
I've gotten that much, yeah.
Like, that's the goal, and they realize about halfway through the film, you can't rehome imaginary friends. You just need to make the adults who imagine them in the first place remember them. So they go and they try and rehab people like that. And at the end of the film, you get this sort of montage of all of the imaginary friends that you've met along the way with their adult counterparts, which includes Keith, where you just see like the guy whose imaginary friend it was. He just falls over and repeats the Ryan Reynolds line of, "Oh, damn it, Keith." And it's a really funny joke. Because it's it's like the last one. You find out where they go, kind of thing.
I just have this image of in Ryan Reynolds fashion, it wouldn't have shocked me if they'd had a blind actor.
What?
Be the person who invented Keith as
that'd have been good. To be fair,
that would have been very Ryan Reynolds, to be honest.
Steve Carell's character. I'm gonna pull up.
Do I get to see now?
Yeah,
am I allowed?
I'll show you this. If character Blue. Okay. So, I've pulled up the poster for you.
Yeah.
Here.
Yes.
And we'll also do that and see if it has transitioned the right things. It hasn't. Let's see. 2, 3 clean. Yeah, there we go. Transition. There you go. So this character here.
Yes.
Their name is Blue, and they explain it at the beginning of the film by saying that the kid who imagined this character was colorblind and therefore couldn't tell that blue was purple. And I love that. It never comes up again. You know, it happens at the beginning of the film. That like they keep referring to this character as blue, despite the character being purple, and it's never referenced again except for the beginning. Also, I would like to clarify. I've searched up the if character blue, and it's just come up with a load of blue characters.
It has,
and I
indeed.
think it's meant to be color theory that it's coming up with.
Yeah.
And it's going, if your character wears blue, they will be like the smart one or whatever. Although, as we all know, Katara is not the smart one of the gang. Sokka is the smart one of the gang. He comes up with the plans, and then they fail, and that is the joke. But yeah,
don't sit here and scroll.
So this character is called Blue, basically, and it's a really funny joke. Just going immediately, yeah, he was colorblind.
He doesn't know.
He couldn't tell the difference.
So I'm.
But yeah,
it does seem like a really sweet film.
It is. It is really sweet.
It does look like something I would sit down and watch, but I had to make a call this morning, and I was like, no, I gotta watch.
You've got to watch the other film.
I did.
But yeah, a pretty huge cast. Okay, check this actor a second. No, it's not the actor I thought it was.
I've actually seen Theatre Camp that he's
I have
in.
also seen Theatre Camp.
His role in that actually really amuses me, because he's the little agent guy who's all the way
Yes!
through on the phone to people.
That's where I recognise him from.
He's the little tiny
Yeah.
agent, and right at the end of the film, he goes to the woman who's working there, who had lied on her CV, and he's like, you should be an agent, you know, trying to grow a business and that. And I think it's so funny that he's clearly sent to this theatre camp to go and be sociable, and he spends the entire time sat in an office in a suit, and I think that's great. I was that child.
But yeah, really big cast on this. Also, that'll be it. That'll
Could
be
you not
where I
work out where
recognise-
you...
I
She's in
thought
quite a lot, actually.
I thought she was Harriet Jones, MP for Flydale North. Oh God, Ethan, do you not remember? Do you not remember Harriet Jones, the MP for Flydale North?
I don't think so. That's...
Person in other room, nod your head and wave your arms if you remember Harriet Jones, MP Flydale North.
Yep.
Good.
There you go.
Shocking from you, Ethan. But that's another thing. Are we on air right now?
I can hear music, so I assume so.
Yeah, we're on air. Hello everyone. I've forgotten that we're not just streaming.
You kind of forgot that we are.
Yeah, we are on a radio station. We should probably do radio-ish things. Anyway, yeah.
I think if
We do a radio show. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, we don't just stream.
I've only been doing this for 2 years. We've only introduced streaming this last 4 weeks or something.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Oh. Yeah. We're gonna jump into more bonus content for the stream now. Sorry, radio.
You guys get more Eurovision
You get more
songs.
Eurovision songs. We are going to go to Ireland's entry from this year.
Which was a bop.
I honestly haven't listened to any of the songs from this year.
I really enjoyed it.
So we are going to play Ireland and then San Marino. Were those good ones?
Ireland was
Yes.
good.
Okay, we're
Yes.
getting a thumbs up from the other room, which is promising. So, here we go with Doomsday Blue. Okay, so we're off now.
We are.
MP Flydale North, Doctor Who.
Oh, yes. Never mind.
David Tennant era Doctor
Yeah.
Who. Well, actually, all of Russell T Davies early era.
I had a complete moment. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like,
But yeah, who is that? Harriet Jones, actress. What? Oh, it's not that one. Penelope Wilton.
who also has been in quite a lot of things. Afterlife, made.
Oh yeah, she's in Afterlife. Forgot her role in that. I think I want to go see this film, or not go see
Pilgrim of Harold Fry.
Yeah. She is in Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead's a fantastic
It is brilliant. I love it.
Alongside Hot Fuzz. And
Yeah.
I know there's a third film.
World's End.
Thank you.
Anyway.
I really enjoy Hot Fuzz because it's stupid. It's jumped everything again, as it does.
It is what it is.
But I think that you've got to fight with it now.
There we go.
I do think that it probably will make me cry. So you'll probably get a text later on in the week because I'm really enjoying that Undisclosed Cinema in the middle of our town are doing super cheap tickets at the moment. So,
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I saw the price for the one I go to, 20 quid.
$5.99.
Yeah.
So I was like going in town. So I would like to take the opportunity to watch some more films, you know?
Yeah.
Because
What I don't get about the one I go to, so it's got a cocktail bar there.
it does.
And they do 2 for 12 cocktails, which is really competitive pricing for like a bar in town.
Yes, it is.
Like if you opened a bar in town and did 2 for 12 cocktail, like 2 for 12 pound
That's
cocktails,
like old style Weatherspoons pricing for a
Like-
cocktail.
you'd be good. You'd be set because like at my work we do 2 for 11. I know the pub around the corner do 2 for 12 on like they're like so they have like 3 tiers of it. They have standard, medium, high quality, and I think it's their medium ones are 2 for 12. And then I think Friary do some sort of deal on them.
Most
I think
places
that
do deals on
I think
cocktails.
Friary and Hideout do a buy one get one free, but the one costs a lot of money. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like one is £12 on its own, but if you get a second one, it's free. So
Yeah, you're
like
like-
it's kind like it. I think it's a very smart business move to do it that way because then like you get 12 when someone only wants one cocktail.
You're still selling them.
You're still selling the same price, like
Yeah.
you're getting like double profit off it, basically.
Essentially.
But yeah, we're gonna. Oh, I don't know what to do.
What?
Because our show has ended, or like ideally it ends now. But we've not got time to do the thing I wanted to do.
What was the thing you wanted to do?
So it was the Met Gala at some point.
I have not seen. Well, I've just seen people complain about the Met Gala as per
Yes.
usual.
And that's basically what we were gonna do. Who else had a good Eurovision this year?
France did.
France. Okay.
France had a good Eurovision this year.
Let's see if I can find it. There it is. There we go. So we've got France and Italy coming up. So we're actually going to pull up the Scream now. I do actually have to hit the transition button, and I think we should be on the right thing now. Yes, you can see all of our stuff. You can see behind the scenes. It's wonderful. Anyway, let's open up this one. Met Gala.
Yeah.
This is the topic that we're gonna be kind of reacting to.
Oh, okay, go on.
The theme.
was that theme this year?
The theme was Sleeping Beauty's reawakening fashion. Yeah,
Okay.
it's like here,
Yeah.
and we're just gonna rate some of them. Okay. Is this alphabetical? No, it isn't. It's just a random order.
That's
Cool.
fine. I mean, the dress is alright, but what really gets me is that I find that lots of the looks don't seem to follow theme in any
No.
capacity.
I feel like this theme is suited perfectly for just wearing an old dress. You know, like a dress that you've previously worn to an event, even to a Met Gala, you know, as a statement. That's awful. Like, and also, Zendaya, what is this pose?
She does have to pose a lot in some really strange ways. I think if it was all blue or all of the green fabric, I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah.
It's the combination of the two. It's specifically down the bottom. It's the striping.
Yeah.
I don't hate the top half of the dress. It's the striping, like, waist down.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't like it. It's just boring.
That seems to be a thing. Met Gala outfits seem to go, like, all out.
Or nothing.
They're like art pieces, or they are dresses that you watch people wear to proms, or even suits.
Yeah.
Lots of the suits that the guys wear are very dull.
I always ignore anything that the guys are wearing, basically, unless it's actually like something. Because most guys go to the Met Gala in a black suit.
I think it was Pedro Pascal went and wore something vaguely interesting this year.
Okay. So this is boring. I think it fits the theme fine. It's like an old-fashioned.
There's just not a lot going on.
But it's not a lot going on. What's that got to do with the theme? You know?
They very rarely do.
I
don't. I think that's slightly more on point. If you're thinking about.
Yeah, this is on point. This is wonderful. In terms of like the theme, this is brilliant.
I don't think it suits her. The dress, the headpiece actually is fine, but that.
Yeah,
it looks.
I think there's something odd about. They've got a cage on.
It's meant to be there. I think it's set slightly too high.
Yeah,
you're meant to sit. It's meant to sit on your hips.
I think also too wide as well. Like, if it just sort of like came down here instead, it's because it, or it might just be this photo.
Yeah.
Like, it might have been on the stand. It looks wonderful, but they've not accounted for the fact she has arms. You know. But what I don't get about the Met Gala is these are all a load of really high fashion people who design all of the things. And it's like, you've been set the brief, like the very simple task of Sleeping Beauty's reawakening fashion. Do it. You know?
I think what really grates me about the Met Gala is, like, you have people who go and they're like thousands and thousands of pounds worth of tickets. And these people get private jets to go there, and it's like, it's not sustainable. It's not available in any way.
Like, that's bad. That's awful.
That's a lot.
That's just like...
That's a lot of dress.
What actually goes on in the Met Gala? Other than it being like a catwalk outside, what goes on inside? And where is that dress fitting? You know? How's she gotten in the car? You know? Like, she's just balled up. In. That's fine. This is classy. If, like...
the white and black is a lot in terms of contrasting colour, but I do very much... I think it's fine. Why?
Yeah.
I do wonder about some of these, like, high-end... That I quite like.
That's quite
the blue's
nice,
fine.
yeah. That is a bit boring, but it's fine.
I don't hate it at all.
You know? That's really nice.
It's a very dull dress for the Met Gala.
Hear me out here, though. 1920s. Like, it's giving 1920s. It's fitting the theme well.
I think if you were going to go, like, Sleeping Beauty, give me a different colour. If it's Sleeping Beauty Reawaken fashion...
Yeah.
Because Sleeping Beauty is, like, blue-pink?
Blue and red. Aurora.
Because it's...
Yeah.
I think because she swaps between the blue and the pink,
she's blue in the film and then pink in all of the princess, like the Disney princess merch.
Because they don't want to mix her with Cinderella, who wears silver.
Yes.
Doesn't wear blue at all in the course of that film. That dress is silver.
And it causes a whole thing, because then you end up with Ariel in Jasmine's colours or something. It doesn't make any sense. No. Because Ariel wears pink in hers.
But she then actively does wear pink, though,
she wears pink in the film, but then isn't allowed to wear pink as a Disney princess because Aurora wears pink.
So they put her in her tail colour and then she matches Jasmine.
Yeah, when her tail colour isn't even the colour she's actually wearing. The colour she wears is more blue than her tail is. Her tail is green, and they've put her in like a teal. And
I think what baffles me about that is I remember from my childhood when they took all the Disney princesses out and put them all in gold.
What?
That was a thing. It was a really weird marketing thing they did for a bit.
A lot of these are just looking like wedding dresses. Not that one. This one does not look like a wedding dress. That's awful. Why? Why
Social
does that exist?
distancing. I don't know. I'm not.
Also,
fashion.
I don't understand why a good chunk of these people are at the event in the first place. Like, when was the last time Gwendolyn Christie did something? She's not done anything since Star Wars Episode 9. I'm always really conflicted about events like this because it feels just like a way to just makes money, don't it? Yeah.
That Chanel dress I quite like. The black.
This one, yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite good.
It is an old style dress. It is on theme.
Yeah, that's not at all. That looks like someone's struggled to put on a dress. You know? Like...
That's alright as well.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's a lot of dress. Like...
We're back on.
Oh, we are.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We're close to the end of our show now.
Thank you. Double booked.
Yeah, because I double booked. So sorry for
Traitor.
everyone who only tunes in for the second hour. Deal with it.
When we usually get onto the actual topic.
Yeah,
We've
already covered that bit. Thank you very much for listening. Get a bit of lo-fi. I was talking to Sky about how this lo-fi only works for Sky's show, and I think it's really worked for us today. So
yeah,
Sky, that's another thing we're stealing from your show. Thanks. But yeah, I don't think I've got anything more to speak about. Did you have anything to speak like other than what we've just covered on the stream?
The irony of Ryan Gosling playing a stunt double in a film where he will definitely have had a stunt double.
Oh, he had two. He had two stunt
there
doubles. And the fun bit there was that in the premiere for the film,
didn't his stunt double dive over?
So they do the whole red carpet and everything. Everyone walks into the building. Everyone gets a good look at what Ryan Reynolds is wearing. Ryan Gosling
but
is
okay.
wearing, and he's in this like blue suit, white t-shirt. Maybe
it's a shirt. It's like a full
shirt.
like
no tie, though. So everyone sees that and goes, okay, that's what Ryan Gosling's wearing tonight. And then the opening of the thing, they go, okay, and now we're gonna like introduce our actors. We have Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. Give them a hand, and then Ryan Gosling appears from the balcony.
But they do like a hop down onto the stage and all that.
Just dives from like I want to say like 15 foot or something.
The clip's on YouTube. Go find it. Like people can go find it.
You can find it on everywhere. And he just dives onto the stage, and as soon as he lands, the whole audience like applauds massively, and then Ryan Reynolds actually walks on. Gosling walks on stage. I went to see 2 Ryan films yesterday.
You've just completely fried your brain.
I'm done.
It's like Chris. It's like stop acting.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I did find it quite amusing all the way through to be like, yes, we have the entire point is that he is a stunt double, and yet I sat through the film and I know it's someone else. Got somebody else doing most of this film for him.
But okay, the one thing I think I'd do to change this film to make it just slightly better is instead of having Aaron Taylor-Johnson play Tom Ryder, I think you should just have Aaron Taylor-Johnson playing Aaron Taylor-Johnson, and that's it. That is the only change I'd make. Be just make it a real life actor playing himself, like the same way they do with Nick Cage,
and they did with Jason Momoa right at the end. Yeah, they have him play himself. Essentially,
I think they should have just done that with Aaron Taylor-Johnson, because everyone knows that it's a bit. Obviously, Aaron Taylor-Johnson has not murdered anyone. Spoiler alert. Whoops.
It'd be really awkward if there's like a news flash next week. There's been an accident on a set somewhere.
Yeah. By the way, Aaron Taylor-Johnson's like killed his wife or something.
I really enjoyed the stunt dog. Hello.
Why you just sit down?
I really enjoyed the stunt dog that knows all its commands in French.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that entire bit.
Yeah.
Also, post-it notes everywhere. I will be excited when that comes out on a streaming platform, because all the way through the scenes in his flat, I was looking at them and laughing to myself because they were like, why is orange chicken orange? And like all of these things. And I'm like, I want to be able to pause it and read them,
all of them.
because somebody has gone to the effort to make them all. So I want to sit there and read them. And it's like the idea that somebody has a phone password on a post-it note on their fridge behind other things screams ADHD to me. Just post-it notes everywhere.
So I was talking to Callum, my old co-host, who didn't go to see this film, and he was like, can you just give me a very quick review of it? And I was like, yeah, it's a very good film that I think I enjoyed a good chunk more for the fact that I've made films.
Yeah.
For the fact that I know what certain sets can be like. Yeah. It really makes it funnier. Just the opening act. The following two are like equal funny. Yeah. But the opening act is just very funny.
I think one of my favourite scenes is where Winston Duke and Ryan Gosling are in the flat and they're like, oh, if this was an action film, the enemies would be closing in by now. And then they come into the flat and they're like having to do this combat scene against like basically a private military with actual guns. And Ryan Gosling gets all the way around it with a gun that only fires blanks. And this idea that he's like shooting and they're hiding behind things, and he gets the gun off of him and he shoots him and he does basically a stunt fall, lies down while this guy's on the phone like, we've dealt with it, we've managed it, everything is fine, and he just gets up and is like in the back of his head.
The better bit of that is in Act 1, they set up so many things for that one scene.
Yes, they do.
So they set up the gun with a load of blanks in it. But they also set up the joke of referencing the fact that you're in the third act when in the third act.
Yes.
Because the idea is Emily Blunt's character is directing a film
that she's wanted to make for a very long time.
Is basically based on her her fling with Ryan Gosling's character.
Yes.
And it works really well. And they have this big argument in front of everyone.
Through megaphones across the set.
Yeah, at the beginning of when they first sort of see each other for the first time in 2 years or whatever. And basically Ryan Gosling Emily Blunt asks, what do you think your character would say? And then Ryan Gosling goes, oh, well, maybe you should have him reference that they're in the third act when they're in the third act and make it this whole meta-narrative. And then in the third act of this film, they reference it being the third act of an action film.
They do that a couple of times. They make lots of things like that. So while Ryan Gosling's character is very high, by the way, the entire thing about unicorns, hysterical, loved it, 10 out of 10, did chuckle to myself.
But they
have
the whole split screen scene.
Yes, while she's asking whether split scenes are corny or not, and this idea they're in two totally different places, and she's on set going through things, and he's rooting around a hotel room trying to find something.
And they're both doing the same movements as each other.
It's on the table, beautiful, loved it. I think this is one of those films that if you have no involvement in media, you're going to be like, well, this is dumb. You know? It is going to be one of the... You're going to be like, oh, where is half of the action? I'm like, you're missing the joke.
Yeah.
The only thing that got me, because usually I find films like this fairly predictable, because they make it that way if you're interested in media, I really enjoyed the plot twist about his accident.
Yes.
That was the only bit that actually got me, where I was like, oh. Although the entire premise of her feeling cathartic about setting her ex on fire repeatedly, honestly, good for her.
Get it.
Good for her. Being like, oh, you're back in my life, I'm going to now repeatedly set you on fire.
Yeah. If anyone... we're going to wrap up the show soon. And by soon, I mean quickly.
Yes.
And right now.
Because
if anyone's interested in seeing this film, you can find it in all cinemas right now.
I imagine it'll end up on some sort of streaming
it'll be on probably Netflix.
I'm imagining Netflix.
But if you would like to see something very similar vibes, same director, I recommend Bullet Train.
I've not seen that still.
So it's got Aaron Taylor-Johnson in it.
Brad Pitt.
It's got Brad Pitt as the main character. I think it's got Dave Bautista in it at some point. as well. Like a load of just a load of great actors.
See, I missed this, but I saw all the ads. I was like, I want to go and see that, and I missed it.
So
at the time,
you've got Brad Pitt, Joey King, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Brian Tyree Henry. Let's see if there's any more.
Sandra Bullock's in it.
Sandra Bullock, yeah. I don't think there's any more that are... Karen Fukuhara, who's also in The Boys.
Yeah.
I think those are probably the most recognisable names of them all.
But it's definitely...
Oh, and Michael Shannon, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I recommend going, getting a copy of that, or like seeing if it's on Netflix or something.
I think Bullet Train is one of those ones that I want to revisit. I do find I do miss a lot of films. I just don't have the time. Netflix.
It is available on Netflix.
I know what I'm doing later.
Yeah, exactly. I've got it on, I think, Blu-ray.
Of course you do.
As soon as it came out on Blu-ray, I went, yes, thank you very much, because I went to see it in cinema.
The only film I've ironically done that with was Knives Out, when I was like, immediately yes.
Yeah.
Because that was also a ridiculously... It's what I'm enjoying, films that know their films. I'm enjoying more films that... Because Bullet Train is self-aware. Fall Guy definitely is, in the way of, if you're into media, you're going to get more of the jokes. And the idea of the overbearing producer and everything is all...
Yeah.
And like being an assistant and being like, can I have credit, please?
Yeah.
Please.
Please help.
I'm walking her dog. I would like credit, please.
Yeah. But yeah, go check out the films we've recommended with your extra 40 minutes.
Yeah, go watch a film.
Go watch a film. Treat yourself. We're gonna leave you off with Britain / the UK's entry to Eurovision this year, which was Dizzy by Years and Years, which on the system it's down as Ollie Alexander. Was it Ollie Alexander? Was it just Ollie Alexander, not Years and Years? Okay, so it's by Ollie Alexander from Years and Years, but it's...
This song will make more sense if you go watch the music video as well, ironically.
Anyway,
throwing things at me.
Because it's funny. Anyway, here it is. Enjoy. Yeah, that landed quite well, that did. Thank you for listening, stream. Watching. Hello.
Bit of both?
Huh?
Neither? Both? Depends.
Yeah.
They just dumped us on a side and walked off to do dishes.
This is in the background listening.
Yeah. We are definitely in the background while you're making your dinner, listening. Or,
yeah.
Oh, you're doing some dishes. We're just chatting away.
We're just there.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for coming along. We will see you all at some point, maybe. Who knows?
We do need to make some decisions, ironically, about what we're doing with Film Talk.
Yeah, I don't think I can do next week. Because at the current state of things, it's looking like there's going to be a staff night out.
Ooh.
Arranged by yours truly.
Typical.
As in, I've arranged it all, and I've put the thing out to the group chat going, who's available?
Drinks, ?
Like, full-on poll, are you available? Yes, no, maybe.
You love a good poll, don't you?
I do. And then... I'm basically just waiting on the confirmation from my managers going, yeah, the sister bar has said that they'll cover us.
Oh, so it's looking for cover
It's
now.
looking for cover, basically.
I can be behind the bar. What could go wrong?
Everything could go wrong.
I can pour a drink.
Can you do cocktails?
With the instructions, yeah, probably.
Okay.
My bigger problem is that I'm 5'1", and don't you keep your glasses above as
Some
well
of
as
them,
below?
Yeah, a good chunk of them, yeah.
It's like there are loads of pubs, I'm like, no. If I can't reach it this side, I'm doomed to that side of the bar.
Yeah.
Not for me.
But yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. We'll see you off now. Goodbye. Yeah, that's it. That's kind of the show done. We're still on.
Yeah.
And they can still hear us and everything. It's funny.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Don't you need to
Yeah, I just need to... Goodbye, everyone.